Hello dear viewers, welcome back to Let's Play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. So I made a little bit of a mistake. I entered this ice cave without dropping my potions off outside, but whatever, these things happen. I have done a little bit of the Orcish Mines, not much. This is on the second level of the Orcish Mines, so not a big break between last video and this one. You just missed some stash stuff. So here, I'll haste myself. Unfortunately, we don't have a good source of AoE damage yet. We can, however, cut off the approach of some of these. There we go. Using our Force Lance spell to bust these guys down. Magic Dart. There we go. Did we lose any more potions? I don't think so. We got really low in hit points against Snorg. We kind of fought him recklessly, but we didn't really have to blow any consumables because of it. Yeah, we currently have 2 pips of Resist Cold, which is great, and we are going to acquire a third, which is excellent. Exactly what we want for this ice cave. I am going to hang on to my potions for now. I think I'll go ahead and maybe drop off some of them. I don't know. Force Lance is killing these ice beasts, and it appears to be all ice beasts so far. Here's a nice 2-spot choke point. What if we step here? They still don't come at us. Okay. Well, we could use more mana, certainly. Let's just step back here and channel a little bit. Can they... jeez. It's hard to tell if I want to use the Force Lance or the Throw Icicle against these guys. I don't know. Probably the Force Lance is better still. We can switch to this sword and hack away until we get enough mana to cast one of our spells. Aww. Losing potions by the bucketful. Let's at least drop that one. And these. Yeah, we really shoulda. I think I didn't think of it because we have this Amulet of Resist Corrosion, which is excellent as far as preserving things from acid, but we forgot about potions. That and my last character... the last character that I spent a great deal of time with was a demon spawn that had the... Ooh, yikes. Let's definitely ditch our potions. Because those guys summon more ice beasts. We have a Wand of Heal Wounds, so we're not too concerned about losing our potions. And we can just step here, I believe. Oh dear, we are in sight of both of them. Well, let's see. Okay, not bad. Not bad. These can chase us a ways, but... without having to worry about our potions shattering. I mean, we have so much cold resistance that we can just sort of berserk these down. You're near starving. Let's eat some grapes. We kind of rushed this archway because there were some tough baddies right outside it. And so we are a little bit... oh, that is a good reason to cast our icicle over our Force Lance is the hunger cost. Yep. If we can get away with it, we're going to just cast Throw Icicle. The time it takes to restore our mana, I think, is less than the hunger accrued from... oh dear, dragons. Here there be dragons. Well, this is actually kind of good, because I think ice dragons can actually be affected by Mephitic Cloud. I'm not certain. I hope so. Maybe not. We might be in trouble. Okay, well, definitely haste is in order. And let's blink. That seems good. Because we need to eat a bread ration, sadly. This is some cool treasure. I hope we survive to collect it. What about a Scroll of Fear? That's nice. That worked. Got one of them. Let's use this other Scroll of Fear. Step around the corner and channel like mad. Cool. And then we can just blast this one down. Ow. That hurts. Boom. Okay. Did it. We did it! Grab an ice dragon hide. Yeah, and now we have a nice handy source of food, too. And some great looking rings. We can go back and pick up our potions now. I'm sure that there is little else of import in here. Although, we may see if we can figure out how to get across this water if there's no easy path. Oh, I really want to get across that water. We're just gonna play with Blink. Oh, now I'm no longer certain that we're out of enemies. Huh. Nope, I think we were. We're just getting really rich. Oh, it's just the other branch of this that I would have found through auto-exploring. I am brilliant. Yeah, I don't think there's anything back there or in here. Maybe, but we have no way of getting to it. And we have come away with a decent amount of loot. Let's see. Well, that's kind of nice. +4 intelligence isn't bad. Ooh. Ooh. That's really nice. That's incredibly nice. We will certainly replace the Ring of Protection from Cold with the Ring of Protection from Cold and Fire and Strength +2 and its Sustenance. That's fantastic. That made this whole trip worth it. Every potion shattered. Worth it. That is a fantastic ring, and that is going to sustain us through much of the rest of this game. That is, I mean, 2 resistances on a ring, that itself is excellent and worth considering. 2 resistances and a small bonus to a stat that we otherwise don't want to put points into, so, you know, it boosts our carrying capacity naturally. That is a snap keep, and the fact that it's sustenance on top of all of that, boom, perfect. Our intelligence is 29 currently with this ring of +4. I kind of like that a lot. Let's see. Intelligence affects spell hunger. Ooh, so with this ring on, I don't have any spell hunger for Force Lance. That's kind of awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome. Alright, so we could just stick with these two. Over the Ring of Evasion, though, where our evasion is at 20. We've been putting points into dodging this whole time. So that is certainly not bad. Plus additional spell power in Force Lance means that it will be more likely to knock back enemies. I can totally use that as a justification. No clue what this amulet is. Until we find some slimes, we might as well leave it on. We did find an amulet of inaccuracy earlier that we wore for quite some time, looking like a goober. Missing our icicles. Benny Hill theme song playing. Yep, we popped up next to some orcs. I don't know why it had me target that one first. Whatever. Oh, we can go back to using this staff now. Yeah, rings of... I think I prefer amulets of the gourmand to rings of sustenance. Because where rings are good at all stages of the game, amulets tend to be better later. As just kind of a rule of thumb. Amulets are sources of resist mutation and resist corrosion, which you don't really need until the slime pits and the depths or the abyss. Or the vaults, maybe. Not even really the vaults. There's not much mutation in the vaults. A little bit, sometimes. You can be banished to the abyss from by monsters in the vaults, so, you know, not impossible. Let's pay to identify as Scroll of Summoning. I think that's fine. 133 gold. Plus, now we have a Scroll of Summoning. Huzzah! What is this? Another scroll shop. Ooh, a Scroll of Blinking we want. Yes, please. For sure. Scroll of Silence, good to know. That's really all we need. We have... Oh, we can get the Scroll of Identify, too. We have tons of Scrolls of Remove Curse. We have, I think, 12 back in our stash, and 3 on us. Yeah, we're fine for Remove Curse. What was I going to do? Oh, yes, I was going to identify this other artifact ring. Huh. It makes us get hungry faster and strength plus 2. Bye-bye. Oh. We have an extra ring of protection from fire. We will never be wearing both of them at the same time. Since we have this ring, which is strictly better, we can just ditch one. Okay, I think that's all of our loot from the ice cave, the dragon's hoard. I guess we haven't identified this amulet yet either. Hopefully it's an amulet of clarity. That would be sweet. Very sweet. Huh. Okay. That wasn't the worst. Spellcasting. We can actually turn spellcasting off now that we got that Ring of Intelligence that solves our hunger problems. And that lets us do this, which... Let's even do this. I kind of like this setup. Focusing earth magic and conjurations. Trickling points into dodging. Which we have a +2 aptitude for dodging, which is excellent. That's great. I am worried about our abysmal armor class. 12 is bad. 12 with no guaranteed damage reduction? Yeah. No bueno. Okay, we haven't explored the other realm yet, have we? Okay. What about this one? I'm not sure how to get over there. I guess we have to go down and come back up. That's fine. Orc 3 is still doable by us. With relative ease. I think that orc just missed me with its hammer and... or its hatchet. And hit his fellow... subterranean dweller? I don't know where I was going with that word. Yeah, I figured we'd be able to get that priest. And then kill these guys at our leisure. And then let's try another way down. This one's slightly more friendly, I guess. I'm less concerned by wizards than I am with priests. Because, one, they can't do anything to us if they're critters between us and them. So we can use their meat shields to our advantage. Let's Force Lance. Okay. Yeah, Force Lance is just better to use at this point, I think. If it's a matter of importance. For these little guys, we can just Ice Lance them down, though, to be a little bit faster. Magic Dart is virtually always useful, because it's guaranteed to hit. So at worst, you have a line of sight pulling tool, like, hey, notice me, that's quiet. It only takes up one spell level, so there's no good reason not to know it. If you ever use Iskandarin's Battle Sphere, it combos very well with that. It basically lets you cast Iskandarin's Battle Sphere and get the full benefit out of that for spending, I don't know, only 5 or 10 additional mana instead of 20 or 30. And the Battle Sphere does a lot of damage. I think I seem to recall that at one time it was a level 4 spell. Now it is a level 5 spell. And it was very strong when it was at level 4, maybe too strong, and maybe that's why it's level 5 now. Comparatively, like, you just rushed Battlesphere and didn't look back. But now that it's level 5, it's a little harder to get access to. But I think its damage is better. I don't know. Maybe it's just that my spell skills have been higher at that point anyway, because I can't cast it until a higher level, so I will also naturally have a higher intelligence, and thus it will naturally have greater spell power and do more damage. But it's also potential that they could have potentially increased the damage. Not that they had to make it a level 5 spell. It was already... It is still incredibly strong, even were it to be kept at the same power level and moved to level 5 from 4. Still well worth the spell levels. Dazzling Spray is another one that I've come to like lately. It's not quite as reliable as I would like in my little dream world where everything caters to me. But it's reliable enough, and it does reasonable damage for its area of effect. If you lack other area of effect spells, it's quite nice. Like, I really wouldn't mind having it now. But we went Wizard and not Conjurer. The nice thing about going Wizard is that you start with a higher intelligence than any other background. So you have this kind of natural advantage. And I really wanted to try out yeah, there we go. The whole Deep Elf Wizard thing. The most magically inclined class with the most magical background. Seemed like a reasonable idea at the time, at least. Let's pull these guys back down here so I don't have to fight the warrior immediately afterwards. Though I don't think it'll be any problem to fight him. And he wandered off anyway, so... Yeah, talking to you. We will have to approach him a little bit. Magic Dart isn't good against armored opponents. It does check against their armor class, I think. So... And its max spell power is incredibly low. This is nice. Some potions of heal wounds. Curing haste. Yeah, we don't need any of those things right now, but those are... that's a reasonable store. I'm not unhappy with it. Of course, I'd love to find a store with a beautiful artifact something or other. Gloves of the Archmagi or something. I don't know. I don't know if there are Gloves of Archmagi. Archmagi is it's a large spell power boost to all your spells. It doesn't do anything about spell failure or spell hunger, but spell power it greatly increases. So, sort of like getting a bunch of extra intelligence, but not quite. Intelligence influences spell power and spell hunger. Your spellcasting skill influences spell hunger and spell levels with only a tiny bit of influence on spell power. and then your spell schools influence your spell power and your failure rate. Oh, yeah, spellcasting also affects failure rate very slightly. Not enough to be really appreciable until you have a large number of levels in it, or you're casting very high level spells. It's mostly for hunger and spell levels. And mana. Intelligence does not affect mana in this game. Ooh, High Priest. High Priest. Oh, I should be using Force Lance at this point, I suppose. It did manage to summon a demon, which is a little unfortunate, but it's fine. We took care of it, and Sif Muna rewarded us. Handbook of Dusty Combat Magic. Ooh. Ooh, it has Bolt of Magma. I was hoping it would have that. Oh, and Iron Shot. I think... Ooh, do I want to memorize Bolt of Magma? We can cast it just fine. It, I think, is a... Yeah. It's a penetrating bolt that even damages things that are resistant to fire. Iron Shot is just irresistible single target short range damage. I kind of wish we had found Vehumet first, and that we had gotten these spells through him, because having an increased range on an Earth Mage is excellent. Vehumet eventually increases the range of your destructive magics. But Sif Muna, it will eventually give us all the spells in the game. So, give and take. Alright, so we can just memorize Bolt of Magma and start running with it. We could even memorize Iron Shot. Not in addition, unfortunately. I think Bolt of Magma is more important. We can always forget a spell. Sif Muna lets us do that easily. And now would be a decent time anyway, since we just received a god gift, so there's a piety timeout on it. Yeah, let's memorize Bolt of Magma. Because I really wanted to go fire instead of ice this game. Yes, let's memorize that. And that can replace either Force Lance or Throw Icicle. I think Iron Shot can replace Throw Icicle more effectively, since we're just using this as a single target. Range is at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so a bit shorter range, but high spell power already. It lets us forget a frost spell, so we're less likely to... Ooh, Lehudib's Crystal Spear is getting there too, 67%. Do we even want to memorize Iron Shot with this reasonably close to being castable? I think in 3, maybe 4 levels of Earth Magic it will be castable. By then we'll have an extra couple levels of conjurations. I wonder if it's better to focus just Earth Magic and not conjurations as well. The upside is that we would... the upside is that we would be able to cast Lehudib's Crystal Spear faster. The downside is that conjurations would reach max level at a later time, which means that it would take us longer to cast our fire skills once we start skilling up fire magic. Another alternative is to focus neither of them and train fire magic as well, boost up the spell power of that Bolt of Magma, and get it somewhere close to being roughly ready for Firestorm range. Yeah, I like that idea. I've talked myself into it. Also, I don't want to get too focused on just one thing. I don't want to tunnel vision. It's one reason why I'm leaving dodging on, even though that detracts somewhat from Sif Muna's piety game. What if we did this, actually? Just trickled into dodging. I like that better, since our aptitude for dodging is higher anyway, so we're getting a better return from our investment. And this gets us there with the spells. Spell power is really important on a caster, I think. With more melee types that are splashing into spells, you don't really care how much damage the spells do, because they're just sort of ways to waste time until you can bash things in the face. Um, the problem with that is that uh, I mean, and that's fine for melee types, but we have to rely on our spells for nearly all of our damage. Oh, what is that? J. That should not be J. That should be magma. A bolt of magma. It's like a lava ball. Let's actually set it to B, because it's also a bolt spell. And I never even remember to recast repel missiles, let alone cast it on a hotkey. So it is fairly short range, actually. 1 at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So we are kind of limited to 6 squares, with the exception of kind of Mephitic Cloud, because it spills over into further squares. And Magic Dart, which of course we will keep. Force Lance is even shorter. Force Lance is 5. I don't know. I kind of like the utility of it. I don't know how reliable it is. We'll wait until it hits max power and see if we still like it then. How much damage is that doing? Wow, enough to kill an Orc Warrior in one shot. Awesome. Okay, I like that. And it does penetrate through, eh? Yeah, that's pretty nice. I needed that kind of efficiency. I was really getting greedy there. I was trying to line up all 4 of them when there was really no need. Bolts of any kind are overkill on orcs anyway, although this magic dart is proving to be surprisingly ineffective against that one in particular. No reason to forget Throw Icicle just yet. It is still cheaper, 4 mana as opposed to 5. So it's worth hanging on to for that reason alone, as a cheaper alternative to the bolt and the Force Lance. Oh, right, I remember why I didn't want to come to Orc 4, because it's scary. Well, I don't know, let's kill some orcs. I think that's a reasonable thing to do. We can afford to cast several of these, looks like. Though they are not insta-killing the priests. Okay, there it went. As you can tell, I'm not worried about being surrounded by orcs and goblins. Not in the slightest. We will pop back upstairs just to reduce any chance of being surprised to 0, and then we'll just hack them up. There we go. Yeah. Even at lower levels, regular orcs are not worrisome, unless they stumble across an artifact that you foolishly left lying on the ground on an uncleared level. Get back our Staff of Power. Sif Muna is not big on blood sacrifice. Doesn't care for it much. I guess it's more efficient to use this at this point, since we do want sort of max damage. Yeah, there we go. And I guess we should pay attention to its spell power. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 from the top. So 6 out of 10. That's nice. That's pretty strong. I don't know um, the numbers really for translating pips of spell power and particular spells spell power into numerical amounts and damage and that sort of thing. I haven't spent enough time with spellcasters to know that either through research or intuitively. Yikes! That's a lot of giants. I keep forgetting that we're on Orc 4, which is actually fairly scary. It's, I think, scarier than Layer 8. So we're going to kind of walk back, and Hill Giant is heavily wounded. That's nice. This bolt of magma might... Oh, okay, no, there's an Orcish High Priest. That's just too much there. But here we can make another stand. Definitely targeting the Yikes. Rock Thrower first. We can survive a turn of being hit by this guy as we climb the stairs. And we'll just kinda sweep all that under the rug and go back to our stash for now. Because, yikes, that was a lot of guys. A lot of big, strong dudes and dudettes. Kind of hard to tell with, well, with other species in general, but particularly with the tile guys. We want to go to 1. Our waypoint. Yay. Alright, dear viewers, I think I will end the video here. Trying to keep these a little bit shorter. I know I keep saying that and I keep failing, but this one at least will be a reasonable length. Oh, I can drop off this ice dragon hide that we've been carrying around. We may use this at some point. We may turn it into a suit of ice dragon armor, although fire dragon armor is generally better. But only much, 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 much later in the game. This robe will suffice for now. So, thanks for watching, dear viewers. Simple Sam, he has some promise. This is 2 videos now, I think, or maybe even 3. Yes, this is the 3rd video with Simple Sam, so he has survived throughout a lot of the trials of the early game, trials and tribulations. But I am still new to spellcasters, comparatively. I have much less experience with them. Fewer game hours logged. And so I could very easily die a stupid death. I am definitely having issues with mana consumption, which I think will go away as I get more efficient spells. But I'm not sure. I don't know. It might always be a problem. We may have to put more points into spellcasting. That's also a possibility. What happens if we do that? Ooh, I like that a lot, actually. We'll leave it like that, I think. Since spellcasting also has an excellent +3 aptitude, just trickling points into it and dodging, and still having a quarter experience in each of our 3 primary spell schools. Yeah, that seems really good. That seems quite reasonable. We do have some levels in fighting. We will eventually want more. Probably once we get spellcasting up another few levels. I think mana is going to be enough of an issue that we kind of want to keep this on maybe all the time in some capacity. We have to spread ourselves so thin, it feels like. But, I mean, we are a spellcaster. That's kind of what we have to do. This isn't too much different from, say, training fighting and our melee weapon skill and like either evocations or a ranged weapon skill and armor, or armor and shields. Not in the terms of, like, I mean, maybe armor and shields that way, with dodging still being dodging. Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. So we are much more lacking, I guess, on defensive capabilities. We are much, much more fragile than I'm used to being as a result of this. Since all of this is going into offense, basically. We haven't found Stone Skin or any of the other defensively oriented earth magic spells yet, unfortunately. I would love to find some of those, and it's why I don't mind going into Earth, especially since Deep Elves have a 20% reduction of their maximum hit points. They are very frail individuals, and I'm used to playing normal or heftier than normal characters. Nagas and Demon Spawn, which occasionally acquire the robust mutation, and Gargoyles, which have they also have reduced hit points, but they get a ton of natural armor class. Like our armor class would be at least 20 by now on a Gargoyle, and I feel much safer with 20 evasion than 20 armor class than I do with 20 and 12. Yeah. But anyway, that's enough for now, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.